Hi everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Desi FPL. If you like the content, please hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen. In this week's video, we are going to discuss my team for game week 8 and what are the transfers that I'm looking at now that the Champions League matches and the Europa League matches are almost over. So let's get straight to that. So this is how my team is currently lined up. I have Pickford in goal. I have Romain Saez, Justin, Lamptey with Son, Salah, Podence, Rashford, Rodriguez, and Calvert-Lewin and Kane in the forward line. And on the bench, I have Bamford, Ayling, and Mitchell. So right now, I haven't made any transfers. So as soon as the previous game week got over, my intention was to get rid of Pickford because Pickford was not playing for Everton in that match, and I was not sure whether it was due to injury or some other reason. And as far as the reports go, Pickford was he was not injured, and that's not the reason why he missed the match. Instead, it was some personal reason, and Carlo Ancelotti wanted to give him a rest. And since he was still on the bench, I feel that he was fit enough. So I'm expecting him to be back for the match against Manchester United, and let's see. And currently, I'm sticking with him. And Romain Saez is probably the one that I'll be transferring out this time round. And I'll probably bring in Reece James or Kurt Zuma. Kurt Zuma is more of a short starter in the Chelsea lineup, whereas Reece James can be substituted with Azpilicueta in the Chelsea lineup. So I'm not sure whether Reece James would get full 90 minutes of each and every match in the Premier League. So I'll probably go for Kurt Zuma since Chelsea's defense is looking really good. They have kept three clean sheets back to back, and with the incoming of their new keeper Mendy, the backline really looks assured. And with the match against Sheffield United and that too at Stamford Bridge, I do expect a clean sheet from the Chelsea defense. Another option which is doing the rounds and probably one of the most expected transfer in this game week or the next game week is Ben Chilwell. Since the Liverpool defense has not worked as per expectation, people are trying to get Trent Alexander-Arnold or Robertson out of their team. If they have both of the Liverpool defenders, the managers are trying to ship at least one of them out. So the direct replacement, in fact, a better one right now would be Ben Chilwell, who's who has a stable defense behind him and who's equally attacking, if not more, than those two. So that is an option that you can also take. Right now, I am short of funds for that. Otherwise, I would have gone for Ben Chilwell as well. Now, there are a bit too skeptical transfers or players on my in my team. So Lamptey, it shows 75% chance of playing. I'm not sure whether he'll play or not. He has been this muscle injury has been going on for some quite some time, but he plays every match. So I hope he does play this match because the next match is against Burnley, that too at home, and Burnley has not been scoring many goals. So I feel we have a good chance, or Brighton has a good chance to keep a clean sheet and get me some FPL points. Moreover, he's an attacking threat as well, and as seen in the last game, he did score a goal against Tottenham. So he does go into the area in the final third and get into those attacking positions to get those goals or assists. So that is one thing that attracted me towards him, and I'll try to keep faith in him as long as possible. And so let's see what happens if he starts or not. But I have a replacement for him in Ailing, who's a sure shot starter. I'm not worried for this particular case. And even if he does not play, I have a player coming in from my bench. But I definitely need to ship out Saez because Mitchell is also injured. And even if he's not, Van Aanholt is back and he's there taking the left back position. So I'm not sure even if Mitchell is fit, he'll start the game. So one defender I definitely need. Other one is the goalkeeper I wanted to change, but now since uh, I I want to ship Saez out because he's also a rotation risk, so I'll most probably be making that change. And so even if we look at the fixtures of Chelsea, Yeah, we can see the fixtures of Chelsea, right? So Sheffield United, Newcastle, Tottenham is a tough fixture, but that too is at home. So there is a chance. So until game week 14, they do have chances of keeping clean sheets. So I at least I'll get one Chelsea defender because there are many FPL managers who do have the Chelsea defense asset in their lineup. So that covers me for that as well. So I'll get in Zuma because he's a bit cheaper. He's a bit cheaper than uh, Ben Chilwell. And going ahead, if you see, so this is probably the last week where we'll get Tottenham assets working for us. Most of the FPL managers have looked at the fixtures for them, and they have a really tough fixture lineup after this particular game in game week 8. So if you see after the West Bromwich game, they have Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, and Liverpool. So for these five fixtures, Liverpool assets, at least the attacking returns are expected to be low. And post that, you can again go back to them and get one of those in the team. But in game week 9, I'll definitely ship out either Son or Kane, most probably Harry Kane, because he gives me that fund to get in the Manchester City assets. Now, another option that I could have gone for was Rodriguez, ship him out, get Grealish in because Grealish is someone that terrified me last week. In the first half, he was absolutely absent, nowhere in the game, and I was really happy because most of my mini league managers did have Grealish in their team, and he was giving a blank for that game week. But in the second half, he turned out a ripper of a game, and he got 15 points. So I was really disappointed to not have him in my team. And if we see his fixtures as well, he does have good looking fixtures for at least next 8 matches. And since he's the talisman of their team, so yeah, you can see after Arsenal in game week 8, he has a bunch of fixtures with FTR rating of 2 or 3 only, no more than that. So until game week 15, he has some fixtures where he can get his attacking returns. And from game week 8 and 9, it will be really tough to get into my team because Manchester City and Manchester United both are getting their fixtures as well, the good run of fixtures as well. So somehow I need to get in Kevin De Bruyne. We can have a look at the fixtures for City as well. So if you see the fixtures after Liverpool and Tottenham away from game week 10, they have a run of fixtures where until game week 22, they have only two fixtures worth FTR rating for. And again, against United, I don't consider them as four. I would rate them as maximum three. So those are that weekend, game week 10. Everyone would be going for a City asset. So expect a price rise in De Bruyne or Sterling or even Gabriel Jesus because he's back and as seen in the Champions League, he did score a goal. So that is something we should keep our eyes on. And game week 10, I'll probably take a hit and get Kane and some other midfielder out and get in Kevin De Bruyne. But this week, most probably it would be Zuma or the Chelsea keeper in place of Pickford. And next game week, it ideally should be, if there are no more injuries, it would be most probably Rodriguez would be going out in place of Jack Grealish. Some of the other players that are causing a headache for FPL managers is the West Ham defenders. So if we see West Ham defenders, let's pick up Kufal. Now, if you see the fixtures, now if you see the history of these fixtures, they have already played Tottenham, Manchester City, and Liverpool. So those tough fixtures are gone. And now, if you see, they have Fulham, Sheffield United, Aston Villa, okay, but again at home, then Leeds, Crystal Palace. There are chances of keeping a clean sheet. Now they're playing with a back five with Cresswell and Masuaku on the left hand side and Kufal on the right. So he's the cheapest of the lot. He is a sure shot starter. He did get an assist, I think, in a couple of games back. Yeah, in fact, in two of the games, one each against Tottenham and Manchester City. So that is one area where people are trying to get in cheap defenders. And since Mitchell is gone, he does not have a starting place in the Crystal Palace team. So people are looking at those options. Then, if we look at the fixtures of this particular game week, so we have Brighton against Burnley, and then Southampton against Newcastle. So one major update is that Danny Ings is injured. So Southampton assets, especially in the attacking front, so be it Jay Adams or Ward-Prowse, those are less likely to give FPL points. Although they do have a able replacement in the form of Shane Long, but I still don't think he'll be able to replace Danny Ings, and something that we need to consider. So, coming to the possible replacements of Danny Ings, there are many. You can go up to maybe Werner or Martial if you want to take a punt there. You can move down to maybe Calvert-Lewin if you don't have him already, or maybe Callum Wilson, who's a really good striker and probably the leading man of Newcastle. So those are the options that people are considering right now for Danny Ings replacement. A direct replacement if you don't want to spend much, or it would be
The
Jimenez.
next fixture
But
is
again,
Everton against
Wolves
Man
have
United,
not looked the team they were
and
last
a lot
season,
depends
as
on this
mentioned in
fixture
my
for me
previous
in terms of
episode.
FPL points.
So
I have
you
three
might
players
want
playing
to
in
avoid
this
that
particular
and
game.
probably go for someone who's rather in form and who's working. But yeah, as an United fan, I always want a United win in every match. So let's hope for that with a goal fest with a lot of goals and I getting a lot of FPL points as well. Then Crystal Palace against Leeds. I think Leeds do have that uh, threat at in. I do think that Leeds have an away threat, and when they play away matches, they can overwhelm the opponent with their pace, with their intensity, and with the type of players they have. So I'm backing Leeds for a win in that game. Chelsea against Sheffield United. It should be an easy win for Chelsea. Sheffield United have not been scoring any goals. They have been shipping in a lot. So yeah, Chelsea should win that game for me. West Ham against Fulham. Again, Fulham did win a game for the first time in the season against West Brom, but again they were not inspiring to be honest. And Mitrovic, who's in a lot of teams, he has not scored a goal in almost, like, he has 70 odd shots in the box, but he has not scored. And the major reason for that is a lot of his shots are from headers. And that is something that Fulham always show. Their tactic is to get in the crosses for Mitrovic to attack and probably nick a goal or two. So that is why he has a lot of shots in the box, but no, a very low conversion rate. Then next match is West Brom against Spurs. Biggest match for all FPL managers. Harry Kane is, or even Son in this particular match, is someone who have picked the captain's armband. I really don't think anyone would go against them because West Brom is the leakiest defense, and I think they should get some FPL points because the other obvious premium choice would be Mo Salah or Sterling or Kevin De Bruyne. But again, the match is Liverpool against Manchester City, so that nullifies the or that nullifies the threat of both the teams. So no one would take a risk and go against the Spurs asset because if they haul and get those double digit points, then you go dropping down in your mini leagues or the overall ranking. Then we have Leicester versus Wolves, a tight matchup. To be honest, I won't be surprised if this ends up in a nil-nil draw because Wolves definitely want to play a very narrow and a very tactical game and try to nick a goal or two. But and Leicester on the same hand, Brendan Rodgers coming up with two wins in two games against Arsenal and Leeds United. So that is something we need to consider because both are very tactical managers and they'll definitely not want to lose. So it could be a very drab draw in my opinion. Then the game of the week, Manchester City versus Liverpool. City is vying for another win in the league, and if they do get a win, uh, they'll be on 14 points and with a game in hand with Liverpool on 17. So it could really be an early title decider because at least for Man City, because if they lose, they'll be what 10 points behind Liverpool, and that would be really tough to catch up over the course of the season, because it's not that Liverpool are going to win every match, but it's the same with Man City. They're not going to win every match. They will drop points, as is with Liverpool. So at least in their one-to-one matchups, they definitely need to make a point that they are serious for this season. And the last match of the weekend is Arsenal against Aston Villa. Again, it's at Arsenal's home. They have a strong defense. At least Arteta is trying to make them a strong defense. And as we saw in the match against United, Gabriel played really well, and then Luis is coming back. So that is something I feel Arsenal would nick it. Yeah, it would not be a high scoring game, probably a draw, or Arsenal could nick it 2-1 maybe. So yeah, those are the predictions for this week. So that was the video, guys. Hope you liked it. And if you did, please hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen. Thank you and have a great weekend.